What's happening? I hope y'all did the intro. I'm working on a little something, you feel me? Being my own director and producer, but I hope y'all did the intro. I'm gonna try to match the music up with the topic of discussion. So as y'all seen in the beginning, it's lower self versus higher self, or higher self versus lower self, or however you want to put it, but the topic is you. So your lower self, your lower self is the thing that's holding you back from being who you truly are. Your lower self deals with fear. You need validation from others. You keep living in the past and the future, which creates anxiety and worrying, and you paranoid and you cautious to take a chance and all that kind of crazy shit like that. It controls your animal instincts that you can't live off of love. You got to live off survival. You know what I'm saying? Because it's deep. They try to keep us in a lower state instead of us reaching our higher self. You know what I'm saying? Your lower self, it always needs external pleasure. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's alcohol, pills, weed, sex, it has to do something physical to make you feel good about yourself. Whether you going to the mall every fucking weekend just to buy you some clothes to make you feel good about yourself, when you supposed to already feel good about yourself. The way you was born into this world, that's how you're supposed to be. When we was born at our highest frequency. Kids vibrate at their higher selves. That's why they can see dimensions and see things that we can't see. Feel whenever somebody has a bad spirit. They can feel, sense, intuition. All this shit is high. You know what I'm saying? We come into this world at our higher self. And as we grow older, and I hate to say this, but you know what I'm saying, all the parents forgive us, like the older parents forgive us, but y'all didn't know no better. So, but as we grow older, by our parents being already low vibrating beings because of what they endured growing up, you know what I'm saying, which is low vibration is pretty much another generational curse that we got to break. But as the baby gets older, the mother or the father or the parents or whatever, they start brainwashing the kids into society's tradition. So therefore the government don't have to do it, because the parents going to do it for them. So that's one thing they don't have to worry about. So you pump the kids full of these poisonous foods like Cheetos and candy, and you know what I'm saying, milk product, dairy products and shit like that, and all type of sugar and shit like that, and y'all you lowering their vibration. And then a lot of y'all pump y'all kids full of these sugars, and then turn around and be like, my kid has ADHD. He's always hyper and can't focus. That's because you keep pumping them full of that motherfucking sugar. Do you know sugar is more addictive than crack? Let me repeat that. Sugar is more addictive than crack. Let that sink in while you keep pumping your kids full of that sugar. So, your kid don't have ADHD. You have poor parenting skills by feeding your kids that bullshit. Refined sugar is bullshit. And I feel like if you're not feeding your kids to live healthy, that's somewhat kind of child abuse, because that shit ain't right. Like one thing about adults, this shit ain't right. A lot of them know this food isn't healthy, but they still give it to their kids. Do you not love them? It's lightweight child abuse. But anyway, back on topic. Higher self versus lower self. Your higher self don't need validation. Your validation comes within. You're comfortable in your own skin. You don't look for nobody to tell you look good. You don't look for nobody to tell you you're doing a good job. You don't care about other people's opinion, because you move into the own drum of your beat. Higher vibration. You know what I'm saying? You don't need external pleasures to make you feel good. You make yourself feel good every day. You wake up and you're grateful and everything like that. And another day to go hard at it. You know what I'm saying? Higher self. Your higher self. We have to operate at our higher self. A lot of us is operating at our lowest self, full of ego, narcissistic, arrogant. And yes, Women have an ego, whether y'all like to believe it or not. When a nigga be like, damn, shawty, you need to check your ego. I ain't got no ego. Everybody has a fucking ego because everybody has a lower self. See, that right there, that deflection that you're doing, that's called lying to yourself. Now, by you saying, I ain't got no ego or I ain't got no ego problems, now you're lying to yourself. Because everybody has an ego and everybody has an ego problem, and we all ego trip. It's our higher self responsibility to check the lower self when the lower self start getting out of hand. See, what it is that a lot of us is so used to living at our lower self that we think that that's normal. We think that is good. And I'm going to tell you, your lower self is the reason why you can't keep no relationship. And when I mean by relationship, I'm not just talking about boyfriend and girlfriend. Y'all niggas need to open up y'all minds, because a relationship can be anything from friends, family, relationship, your job, anything. So your lower self is the reason why your relationship don't work. In a relationship, you might get one person vibrating at a high frequency, meaning that that person is not materialistic. He don't care what people think, or she don't care what people think. Materials don't make them happy. No, nothing like that. All they want is love and commitment, and that shit comes spiritually. And your other partner might be vibrating at the lowest frequency because they need materials to make them feel love. They need validation every day. They need you to make them feel secure when they should be feeling secure in themselves every day. And if that's a relationship that you in, that motherfucker's not gonna work because it's not balanced. Y'all remember my last video? I was talking about being balanced in a relationship. Balance is everything. Balance is key. Y'all gotta be on the same vibration. You feel me? Life is one thing. Let me say this. Let me give you one good piece of relationship advice. Relationships are spiritual. It's not physical. A lot of y'all get that shit confused. Relationships are spiritual, not physical. Our ancestors never gave a diamond ring to marry somebody. They gave them their soul. They gave them their word. They gave them their commitment. You feel me? That's what they gave them. Trust. And trust is nothing that you can hold in your hand. You know what I'm saying? That's what our ancestors gave you. A lot of women, see this how, look, a lot of women egos be tripping because if the ring don't cost a certain amount, she gonna tell you no. If the ring don't look a certain way, she gonna tell you no. If you don't propose to her in front of a group of people who's probably not even gonna be at the fucking wedding, she gonna tell you no. That means that she don't want to marry for nothing spiritually. She don't want to marry for love. She want to marry for the attention. She wants to marry because the shit looks good. She wants to marry because everybody else is getting married, and this is, I guess, what you're supposed to do. And the ring is supposed to be like this, and it's supposed, no, that is not how it goes. And then a lot of y'all don't even realize the traditional marriage, because traditionally the bride's father pays for the wedding. So if your daddy ain't got no motherfucking money to pay for the wedding, then shawty, you really ain't got no room to say how you want a motherfucking wedding. Think about that. Since everybody want a traditional wedding, the bride's father is supposed to pay for the wedding. And the bride and her people are supposed to plan for the wedding, because the wedding is for her. The proposal is for the man. So if the proposal's for the man, then that's when the man's supposed to propose to you when he feels comfortable, when he is ready. You can't make these men propose when you want them, because the proposal's not for y'all. The proposal's for the man. It makes us feel good to get down on one knee to ask you to be our wife, to spend our life together. The wedding is for y'all. So now back to topic. A lot of relationships and marriages fail because it's imbalanced. Somebody's always vibrating at a higher frequency than the other. And, and the person that's vibrating at the low frequency more likely have an ego trip. And they want everything their way or no way, or whoop de whoop whoop, or how I want to be. Low vibrating. They dating and marrying for survival instead of love. You feel me? So y'all gotta check yourselves. Higher self versus lower self. Check yourself every day, because that's a never ending battle within. When you look, like you heard Kevin Gates in the beginning of this video, the only devil that you know is yourself. So if the only devil that you know is yourself, that means the only God that you know is yourself. In the Bible, for y'all Christians out there and Hebrew Israelites, in the Bible, Jacob was wrestling God only to find out he was wrestling himself. Isn't that spiritual? Peak game. You are your own hindrance. You are the reason why a lot of shit is not happening for you. Self accountability is spiritual too, and a lot of people don't want to do self accountability because then they will have to admit that they wrong. They have to admit that they fucked up. They have to admit that there's work within that they have to work on themselves, because everybody walking around talking about flawless, flawless. Shut the fuck up, boy. Shut the hell up. Only thing that's flawless is nothing. Computers ain't even flawless. Them shits be fucking up and freezing and crashing. Nothing's flawless on earth. Though people walking around talking about flawless this and flawless that, y'all ego is out of line. Y'all arrogant and y'all narcissistic as fuck. And y'all need to check y'allself. It's facts. You know what I'm saying? Higher self, lower self. Get your ego in check. Control your demons. That's why they always say control your demons. You gotta learn how to coexist. There's a place for your ego to do its thing. I'm not saying your ego is bad, but there's a time and place for your lower self to do its thing. And then there's a time and place for your higher self to do its thing. You feel me? When they always tell you, when they go low, you go high, that's higher self and lower self. When a person goes low to their lower self, then you got to vibrate higher. Don't let them bring you down to their self. That means protect your energy. You feel me? But I ain't want to make this video too long. Just giving y'all a little game and trying out this new app, higher self, lower self, check your ego. Women most definitely got to check y'all ego because y'all are more emotional. See, men's ego, we got ego problems, but we can also check our shit. Women are so emotional that their ego can get out of hand just because they're very emotional. It can get out of hand and can't nobody check their ego. That's why women be like, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to. Can't nobody check me. And that's your ego talking. That ain't you. That's your ego talking. And then that's your problem, because a lot of y'all want black people to be united and all this other shit like that. But let me tell you something. If you want black folks to be united and if you want to be married, you have to deal with criticism, and you have to learn to let people correct you when you're wrong, because people are correcting you out of love, not out of hate. Check yourself. Your ego think everybody hating on you that's trying to correct you and trying to do. No. To check your ego. People are correcting you and criticizing you because they love you, and we want to see you do better because we see you doing better. You feel me? But hey, lower self, higher self, meditation, sun gaze, eat right, do your thing, do your spiritual work, do your shadow work, do your mirror reflect, and be honest with yourself. A lot of people can't be honest in relationships because they can't be honest with their self. The physical realm is a reflection of the spiritual realm. And if you around people who have anxiety problems and depressed and super materialistic and superficial and need validation and all of that type of third dimensional physical shit, they're low vibrating entities. Get them people away from you. Keep vibrating higher, keep doing your thing, and the universe will put whoever is meant to be in your life. And that's a goal for friends, family, and you know what I'm saying, future companions. And that's facts. But you gotta be honest with self first.